Welcome to Lindeman Outdoors. Join Buckshot and Iceman Lindeman as they celebrate God's beautiful creation through fishing, hunting, and outdoor adventures. It's time to fill the freezer and enjoy the great outdoors the way it was meant to be. Welcome to Lindeman Outdoors. Your number one hated, loved, and funniest outdoor, redneck, off-topic podcast in the world.
I think it's the number one loved podcast by rednecks, for sure. Like ourselves, we're not, the golfers don't like us, but
golfing is equivalent to fly fishing, so
yeah,
the same
golfing
thing
and fly fishing, both of them, they are a special brand of fairies. No, I can't say that. No.
Fairies are a mythical creature.
You have to edit that out. No, it's these people that golf, I don't know. I just don't get it. Waste of time. It's a waste of time. They'll be like, "Nuh-uh, you're a waste of time. And you're fat." Okay. But, no, enough
The
with
best
the
part
golf.
is on that video, which has gone through the roof now, is people are still commenting, but they're not commenting on us anymore. They're just commenting at each other. So we've collected a forum of people. So we created a group, a place where non-like-minded individuals could come together and argue, which is nice.
It is.
It's nice of us to do that.
I mean, I knew the golfers were a bunch of wussies, but I didn't know they were so sensitive that they can't take a joke.
Yeah.
Good God. I mean, you'd think they'd be happier with their little outfits that they wear, their little glove, and their little shoes, and their matching little shorts, and their collared shirt, and out there just bromancing it up, high-fiving each other.
I never understood the golfing glove. So I have friends who golf and whatever, and then some people are like, "Oh, it helps, grip the club," and some people are like, "You don't need it." So I just like, if your own golfers are debating whether you need a glove or not, like what? I don't know.
And then they only wear one like they're Michael Jackson.
Well, maybe they're just like Michael Jackson.
I don't know what the deal is there, but they're a strange breed. They're very sensitive and they take their sport very seriously.
Then people thought we were attacking golf, saying golf's not a sport. Golf is a sport. It's not an athleticism sport. It's a skill sport.
It's a life sport. It's a sport you can play your whole life, which is great. And you know what else? What's that?
Well, here's one thing I can agree on with golf. Is people are like, well, it takes a lot of skill. I'm like, yeah, it's equivalent to like competitive archery or...
Not even close.
I mean,
competitive.
It's a skill.
No. Sure.
Like target shooting.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe not like the 3D courses.
Maybe.
But like.
Professionals.
Spot shooting, target, paper. It's, we do it. It's pretty similar, I feel like, as far as like yes, I would say it's a lot more technological and advanced when it comes to like learning how to do it, but golfing is, as I'd say, it's a skill. That's my opinion. I mean, maybe we can have a debate on this, but
there's no doubt that
skill sports, not athletic sports.
There's no doubt that you take like John Daly, who I love, and he's that golfer that, he, had the mullet, used to smoke and drink out on the course. I mean,
barefoot.
Yeah, he's the guy that should golf, and he can just, he can still rip it, and he drinks a bottle of vodka a day, and, he has all those memes about, when you're out there trying your hardest, and then they show this guy, that. But
yeah.
To debate of, he kind of Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. He's he's not quite the elite athlete that you know a football or a basketball or a baseball player is. Some baseball players are pretty round like us, but
Well, those are just the heavy hitters. They're
right,
not running bases. They're not hitting records. They're hitting homers.
that's right.
They're built for power. They're
Yeah,
diesels.
that's right. They're like us. But I'm glad that there's a sport like golf, so the little fellers out there can go do stuff too and compete. The walleye rods are probably too heavy for them to hold, and hey, and I'm not just saying that walleye is it when it comes to fishing. I fish everything: salmon, catfish. There's people down south that are like redfish is where it's at. I'm like, yeah, redfish is basically the walleye of the south. But sure, I'm with you. Whatever floats your boat for what part of the country you're in,
Yeah.
get after it.
My favorite part was people were like, that's why I can't trust these freshwater fishermen. I'm like, first off, I live in North Dakota. I'm
You
pretty
can't trust them.
landlocked.
We're a conspiracy against the South. The South will rise again. Okay.
You're not a fisherman unless you fish saltwater. I'm like, well, if that's what you think, I mean, I feel like,
Yeah.
I mean, I live in North Dakota. I feel like I'm pretty far from any coast.
Yep. Yeah, it's I don't know, this internet stuff is crazy.
Well,
It's
anyways,
crazy.
let's get
Bunch of
back to the
sensitive.
outdoors, shall we?
Back to the outdoors.
You just got back from, well, one, Washington, D.C., and two, you got back from West River, South Dakota.
But to quote Bill Murray from Caddyshack, you want me to kill all the golfers?
Oh, the Gophers.
Or lock me up and throw away the key? Not the golfers, you idiot. But anyway, that's what I have to say about golf. Yeah, I was out in Washington, D.C. Got to go meet with our legislators again. It's, your average hunting and fishing enthusiast needs to understand that our public lands are under attack. There's people that want to have the federal government sell the public land so private individuals can buy it, whether that be for mining or foresting or I don't know if foresting is a word. Forestry would be the word. But that's a bad idea. We need to preserve our public lands. We need things like the Farm Bill to pass because the Farm Bill has CRP in it as well, and then also all the walk-in hunting programs that go along with it. So everyone who likes to hunt and fish and listens to this podcast, you should write your legislators, and let them know that you support, hunting and fishing in public lands, and that you do not want your public lands sold to private individuals. So, but we're always under attack, whether it be to preserve our hunting and fishing, which is so stupid. Like when, on that post about when fishermen started fighting with each other about fly fishing's best or saltwater fishing is best or catfishing is best or
Just
you know
fishing is
what?
best.
Fishing is best. We can't fight amongst ourselves. We can fight with the golfers because they're taking up valuable land. Okay? Golfing is a waste of good hunting and fishing land. So, they need to, like I said before, plow that stuff up.
Well, I think what they should do, these water hazards, they should dig them deeper and put fish in them and have them open to public fishing.
Right. That's what they should do.
Even just have it just be catch and release. That'd be better.
Right. You go out there and catch some bass. That would be fantastic.
If you get hit with a golf ball, it's just your fault. You gotta watch out. And maybe
You
that's
gotta
a
watch
rule we
out.
can make.
Now there's a sport. Trying to fish
Well, dodging.
while dodging golf balls being fired at you.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. So yeah, it's Washington D.C. It's crazy out there. There's there's people out there that just do not understand our way of life out here. They don't understand wide open spaces. They don't understand farmers and ranchers and construction workers and people that live in rural America, school teachers and people work at electric co-ops, and um, they just think everybody lives in a city and everything should be, how they see it, and they don't understand where they're sitting there in that restaurant eating that steak, where that comes from, how it gets there. They don't understand the rest of the country that has the food supply to
Well,
them,
it's
to
even
these
crazy. Like,
cities.
yeah, Washington D.C., one of the bigger cities in the country. You still see that in like smaller, I call them cities, but they're probably just towns to city people. Like Grand Forks. I mean, there's people here that are like live, in the city of Grand Forks, and they're just so like out of touch. I'm like, guys, we can drive 10 minutes that way, and you're out in the wilderness.
Yeah, a lot of them don't get out much.
They don't really get it.
Yeah, it's it's a shame. You got to be in touch with nature. My co-host of the podcast is whining in her chair over here. I don't know what's wrong with you, Zeddy.
Oh, poor Zeddy.
But anyway, yeah. So you got to be involved politically. You got to, you just can't sit back and take for granted all the things that we love and enjoy. You got to be involved, or otherwise we're gonna lose them. That's the sad part. You can go on to. All you gotta do is Google who your representatives are for your area, and they'll have their contact information on there. And sometimes you might get a phone number, you might get an email, and there's probably a staffer. It's usually you won't maybe get to that legislator themselves, but you'll get one of their staff members who will be like, hey, I got 20,000 calls on, we want to keep public land.
Yeah.
We better not vote against that, or we're gonna not win the next election. Got to hold our representatives accountable. Senators and representatives and governors and even the president. So, so it was a good trip. And I got back and I loaded up the turkey wagon and headed out west.
One, you sent me a picture of the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, that was very cool. I went to the national.
How locked down that thing is.
It's locked down, and then there's 2 armed guards standing right there.
Yeah.
That's one thing I liked about DC is that there was people walking around with ARs, just like it ain't no thing, and that's how it should be. The security was all over there. There's more guns in Washington DC than South Dakota on pheasant opener. So.
Well, you were saying you felt safer in Washington, D.C. than you did, like, the Twin Cities.
I feel way safer in Washington, D.C. than I do in Minneapolis or St. Paul.
Yeah.
And crazy enough, I think Washington, D.C. might be the murder capital the most murders per capita, I think, of the entire country. It's up there, Chicago or D.C. or...
I'm pretty sure Chicago or Detroit. Let's Google this since we have this out.
What is the murder capital of the United States? What city has the most murders per year in the United States?
Wow, St. Louis.
Oh, Missouri.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
It's rough down there.
You don't really hear about that much. You hear about,
St. Louis is number 1.
St. Louis remains the city with the highest murder rate in America and still considered murder capital of the U.S. 2025.
Do they have like a top 5?
Detroit, Memphis, Birmingham, St. Louis, Cleveland, and Little Rock.
Damn. And a lot of that the majority of that is due to drugs, sadly.
Yeah. St. Louis. So St. Louis, Detroit, Memphis, Birmingham, and Cleveland, and then Little Rock.
Yep. Drugs kill dreams.
Yeah. Don't do drugs. Go into bow hunting or fishing, even golf if you have to. It's more expensive.
I'd rather see people golf than do drugs.
I would hope. I would hope.
I mean, if you're desperate and you're down and out, I
I'm
guess
gonna
you
make
can
you a T-shirt that says, "I rather golf than do
do
drugs."
golf than do drugs.
I mean, yeah, it's a positive.
Yep, I like it.
Anyways, so you
Don't
load
do
up the
drugs.
turkey wagon and you
Do
headed
golf.
west.
Headed west, West River, South Dakota. I'm not going to say where because there's too many
Just west of the
hunters.
river.
Yeah, there's too
Figure it
many
out.
hunters now. There's South Dakota's too popular. Turkey hunting's becoming too popular. It's our own fault. Remember when we started out turkey hunting? Like we were the only ones in our state, well, at least the north half,
Well, I
and it's
remember
our
I
it's
didn't
our
go to a
fault.
big school, but where I went to school, deer hunting. No, that week a deer season rifle opener. The only kids were in school were the weirdos that didn't hunt, and two, the kids who tagged out and their moms made them go back to school.
That's right.
But and when we started turkey hunting, people were like, "You're going turkey hunting? Why? Why are
Mm-hmm.
you going turkey hunting?" I don't know, it's fun.
People didn't know.
And then, now it's, did you
It's,
tag out this year to get your turkey?
it's
Now there's all debates how you're not a man if you use decoys and and this and that. I'm like, guys, like 4 years ago, and no one was even doing this.
yeah. And yes, in the South they've had turkey hunting forever, but it's
Yeah, but it wasn't.
you know
Well, now like they didn't televise. It wasn't on the outdoor channel growing
what,
up.
no, it isn't. It's blown up
Primos.
more in the last 20 years for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, I don't want our Southern people to be messaging us. We've been turkey hunting for 100 years. God darn it.
we know, we know.
We
But up
know.
north,
We love cornbread. Chill out.
we love the South.
We love the South. General Lee's my favorite car, and the Dukes of Hazzard was my favorite show growing up as a kid. Okay.
That's every country kid's. It's I wish it didn't have a certain flag on there, but
That's right. But at the same time,
it's the coolest car.
yep. We probably could have had a conversation and changed their mind about a few things, and it would have been just fine. But anyway, or not. But anyway, moving on. The turkey hunting has a long tradition in the South. The turkeys have expanded. They're in I believe there's turkeys in 48 or 49 states now. Might be 49. I think everywhere but Alaska, I believe. Because I think I just saw, somebody did the slam and shot a turkey in all 48 states.
49 out of 50.
Yep.
Alaska's the only one.
Yep. So,
Who put turkeys on Hawaii? Who took a turkey on a boat or a plane and brought it over there?
but it's awesome. I would love to
I
go to
mean,
Hawaii and hunt turkeys.
That's awesome. But that's just like turkeys, like my fiance, she went on a Hawaii trip here, and there's like pigeons and chickens there.
Yeah.
There's no seagulls because it's too far away.
Yeah, there's
pigeons.
they got access deer, they got all these different sheep, goats.
Yeah, you can bow
pigs.
hunt there 365.
I would love to bow hunt there. I'm gonna go to Hawaii. Everyone else can be on the
Go to
beach.
the beach. I'll
I'm
go to
be
the
up.
jungle.
I'm going to the jungle and shoot some stuff. Have a pig roast, a big luau. Be out there just flinging arrows and be like mahalo, which means thank you in Hawaii.
49 states.
Yep. So
Is there turkeys in Europe?
I don't think so. I think they're just in North and South America. You're gonna have to Google this. I've never heard of a turkey over
I
there.
know some in Mexico. Oh, there are turkeys in Europe.
Really?
They're not native, but
Oh, sure.
the Spanish explorers brought some back. Apparently,
Yep. That would
These
make
Spanish
sense.
explorers they're the reason for everything going everywhere. They just picked stuff up and brought it somewhere else and dropped it off.
Yep. Horses in America.
Is that the reason? I thought horses were here.
No.
No, the Mustangs are the Salvadors brought them over.
Yep.
There's turkeys in Russia.
You'll have to Google if horses were native to North America. I don't think they were. I think they were brought by the conquistadors of Spain.
Now this became a history podcast.
Yeah, we cover all subjects. We're
Horses
here.
originated in North America,
What?
evolved over millions of years, and migrated to other countries, including Asia and Europe, before eventually being domesticated in the Pontic-Caspian steppes, region of western Eurasia. Wild horses were once present in North America. They were not native to Americans when Europeans arrived, and the wild horses seen today are descended from the horses that were introduced by the Spanish. You're correct. They just
Okay.
were back in Pangea.
Right.
And North America was like the giant thing.
Yeah.
That's
But they weren't here. The Native Americans
they didn't
didn't
have horses
them.
until they
Right. Until the
brought them.
Spanish
They're like,
brought
wow,
them.
these things are awesome. I'm gonna go get me one of those.
Yep. So, which is pretty cool. But anyway, back to turkey hunting. Like these people talk about, oh, you don't need decoy. If you use a decoy, you're not a man. Blah blah blah. Or decoys are cheating. Well, I'll tell you what. I shot a turkey every way you could shoot a turkey on this trip. And I will break down the first hunt for you, which was insane, because I drove back into this area, walked down into this creek bottom, and I'm like 40 yards from my truck at this moment. Like I can turn around and there's my truck. And my truck is a bright, red, shiny Chevy Silverado. And I was standing there, and I hit the call. Just thought, well, I'll just see if anything can hear me, see if anything gobbles back. I hit the call, and all of a sudden, gobble! I'm like, whoa! And they're close, too. I'm like, and so I was hunting out there with my buddy, Jerry Tackley, who is the father of my good friend, Al Tackley, and he is 86 years old. And I think we've been hunting out there for 5 or 6 years now together. And so it's really cool to get out there, be able to hunt with him and be able to, he's pretty independent, but at the same time, his hunting partner actually passed away, I believe. And so I kind of took his spot. So it's kind of, nice just to be able to help a old boy get out there and keep hunting. So hopefully, somebody will do that for us someday. So we sat down and got sat down quick, started calling. Next thing you know, we had like 6 turkeys just right on top of us gobbling. My old buddy couldn't quite see where they were. He can't hear so good out of both ears. He can only hear out of one pretty good, so he couldn't quite pinpoint where they were. And he was looking over to the right, and of course the turkeys were to the left. And I was off to the left, and the turkeys are gobbling, and they just, they won't come any closer because they're like, where's the hen? She should be right here. I mean, they had us pinpointed, and they weren't seeing anything. And pretty soon, one of them must have spotted Jerry moving or something, because the one started putting. When you hear that, that's when you know that
you're busted.
The jig is up. That is we out in turkey language. So something scatter, something sus, as they would say. I don't like the way this looks. Did I not use that right? You're kind of making a face at me. I'm just going to quit doing that. I don't understand how these ears talk. But anyway, the jig was up. We were busted, and they were about to bug out. And this one turkey kind of he cleared himself from the other ones a little bit, because all I could see was red heads there at one time. Like I could have shot and probably filled all my tags at one time, but I was trying to pick out a tom, a decent tom. And this one took to the left. I seen a beard. He was about 32 yards. I had my little 20 gauge, so I smacked him, shot him, and then he fell off about a 15-foot cliff down into the river bottom. And I was like, no. So then I had to climb down there and get him. That one was just a super Jake. He had a full fan, but he only had like a 4-inch beard and little spurs. So he was Young Tom. But no decoys. Called him right in. I had another experience out there where I had a strutter decoy set up, and started calling, and turkeys come running to that. Decoy, no decoy. I've killed them all both ways. It don't matter, especially when you're using a shotgun.
Yeah.
Where we use decoys because we bow hunt a lot, and we're just trying to get that turkey into range and get in position so we can make a good shot on him.
Yeah.
So that works out good for that. Um, you know, so it was kind of that was a pretty cool hunt. Just the fact of step out of the truck and hit the call, and then boom, they're they're on you, and they were coming hot too. So
Turkeys are on fire right now. I mean, this is about time. It's
right,
May's the month.
they're so on fire. So that was cool. So I was happy to see that. Went to another spot later that afternoon. Thought, well, we'll just walk in here, set up. I thought, well, this is kind of a waste of time because it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But you're out of state, you're hunting. You can hunt till sunset. You might as well hunt, I guess. Can't kill them from the hotel room. So, same thing. I'm sitting there and I hear some hens start. I'm like, geez, I think I hear a hen clucking. So then I start clucking back at that hen. And I had the decoys out in front of me. And all of a sudden, here comes this hen. And she walks like right down into my decoys. And she's kind of doing a figure 8 in there. And then, she was just kind of purring and clucking at my decoys. And while she was doing that, all of a sudden I heard a gobble behind me. And I was like, what the heck? And then I hear wings flapping, I'm like, oh, a turkey just came from the other side of the river. And kind of where I hunt there's a river bottom down in there. And for whatever reason on this trip, the turkeys were on the wrong side of the river, and I couldn't cross it because it's deep and it's wide, and it's a river deep and wide. But anyway, couldn't get across that thing. But turkeys can fly. Now, yep, that's a fact. So this turkey flew across the river because it seen this hen walking around in my decoys, comes running into my decoys and starts beating the crap out of my Jake decoy, which was the video that I sent to you that I filmed with my phone holding beside my shotgun because I couldn't get the you sent the GoPro with me, and of course I couldn't get that thing to turn on for nothing, and I thought I charged it up the next day, so I didn't even get the next one recorded, which I should have. I had 4 tags out there, by the way. I shot 3 turkeys. I could have easily filled all my tags, but I wanted to leave some turkeys for next year. So I left some for seed. I left 1 for seed. But
which, I knew you were old, but I didn't think you can't work a GoPro with 2 buttons old.
It won't turn on. I pushed and held the button. I tried to charge it up.
You just failed the video, and
you told me it was good to go. You're like,
it was.
It's good to go. All you gotta do is push the button. So of course I get it in position. I have it all there, and I push the button, and nothing happens. So then I had to grab my phone and then try to hold my phone and my shotgun, filming and shooting at the same time, so I could get some footage. And then I hit him with that 20 gauge and just flattened him, and then all of a sudden he pops back up and took off running, just like a turkey will do. I don't know what kind of Kevlar underwear them things wear, but good Lord, is a turkey tough. You can hammer them things with a 12 gauge and they will pop right back up and take off running. You got to get some BBs into the brain, and I thought I did on that one even. I mean, his head was bleeding, but anyway. So then my gun jammed, so I had to quick manually, that's what that commotion is. Yeah, de-jam, and then put another shell in, and then I shot him as he was running up the hill.
Turkeys are they're tougher than deer and elk.
By far. Turkeys. are
I mean,
tough.
yeah, I've seen, people are like, I'll probably get some heat saying that. People will be like, well, I've shot an elk and it ran. I'm like, well, then you didn't hit it in the right spot.
Elk are tough too.
Oh, yeah, but turkeys,
Turkeys, what we should clarify is for the body size of a turkey, their
yeah,
toughness, pound for pound, is incredible.
pound for pound and per square inch, a turkey's the toughest animal on the planet.
Yep, next to an ant. But yes, you can shoot a turkey. Like I've shot deer, same arrow, same broadhead, right through a deer, but that turkey will stop your arrow. Your arrow
Yeah.
won't go all the way through the turkey.
Well,
It'll stop an
my
arrow dead.
turkey I shot last year, shot through a muzzy. I've shot tons of deer, tens of, not tons,
Yep.
tens and tens of deer with muzzies, and it goes right through them. Turkeys stops.
Turkeys will
If it
stop
gets
it.
all the way through, you're lucky.
I shot one turkey that you go up the back leg. You were doing your shot placement podcast last week when I was gone,
Yep.
but you aim up that back leg and you shoot him in the wing, but you're actually kind of shooting him in the hips and getting to that vital.
Yep.
I shot one that I had broke its pelvis. I had the broadhead had sliced and it broke its pelvis. Put an arrow clean through. It was bleeding. It still was chasing them hens like nothing was wrong with it. I had to
Yep.
take another arrow and then shoot it at 40 yards
Yep.
to anchor it. And here, when I go to clean this bird, I'm like, oh my gosh, because I was wondering what happened with the first arrow. I'm like, but here, yeah, it broke its pelvis, and that turkey was still going and didn't even slow
Something
down.
about their feathers and I don't know, they
Their
just
rib
stop
cage, their
stuff.
bones are flat. Where the rib bone, they're like stacked horizontally
Yep.
instead of vertical. But yeah, they're insane. They're little tanks. So anyway, I had to smack this turkey twice. He runs up there, tips over. So I got him. So then that was the second bird, and then the third bird, kind of the same deal. I hunted that morning, passed up a bunch of birds, called in all those jakes, come
Caught
running
the
into the
video.
decoy. Yeah, I could have shot another tom, but he was a smaller tom, and then plus he was, yeah, he was just, I just didn't really want to shoot him. So, and then plus I was thinking like, well, I was trying to decide if I wanted to shoot two turkeys or three or four, or I was trying to assess how many turkeys were out there because I didn't want to take too many. I wanted to save some for conservation for seed for next year. But so anyway, I let that turkey go. Went to town, had breakfast. After breakfast, went and kind of scouted out some more spots. Went and took a little power nap to about 3 o'clock, and then thought, well, let's just go try to hunt for the evening. Probably won't see anything. Tough to call turkeys in the evening usually.
Well, usually it's not as active as they are in the morning looking for a hen.
Right. It's
They
just
found
not.
their hens.
It's not as natural as the events normally are, where they fly down. They
Usually in the evening, you just got
will
hopefully they
find a
walk
hen.
next to you. They usually don't gobble.
Usually they're feeding and they're trying to go back to roost. So that's if I was going to hunt turkeys in the evening, I would try to get in between them and where they like to roost. Put out a decoy that maybe they'll swing in and check out on their way, and you can get a crack at them. But that's not how this hunt went down. This hunt was crazy. Same thing. I'm sitting back there, and it was a hot day. It was like 75 degrees. And I'm back by this river bottom, and I thought, well, this could be good because these turkeys are going to probably be coming down here to try to get a drink before they go to roost. And also, it's just cooler down in the river bottom. And I'm down there, and I'm sitting, and all of a sudden I'm hearing hens cluck. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of turkeys here. So when I start clucking at these hens, I thought, well, I'll try to call these hens in just for fun. So I'm talking back and forth with the hens, and then pretty soon the one hen hits me with a key run, which is basically like them saying, hey, come over here. It's kind of a high whistle. They're like, shh, shh, shh. It's kind of how it goes. I need a call to do it. But I was like, oh, geez, they're close by. So then I start calling some more, and I hit her with a kiki run, being like, hey, no, you come over here, and clucking back and forth, and then pretty soon, gobble. I was like, what? And I was like, geez, he sounds close. And I hit him again. Pretty soon, I can see the hens coming, and then all of a sudden, this big gobbler comes around the corner. Big strutter, had a great big double beard on it,
Yep.
big limb hanger hooks. I think it's a Rio. I don't think it's a Merriam's
I think
turkey.
it's a Rio.
I think it's a Rio because the Merriam's are more white.
Yep.
And this one's very cream colored. So I think the two turkeys, I shot one Merriam's Tom for sure. And then the other two that I shot, I think were Rios or what they call a high, or they could be hybrid. They weren't pure Merriam's, but I think they were Rios. Big Tom. 25 pounds, I'd say 24, 25 pounds. Big fan, big hooks. So when you look at the different types of turkeys, I don't know, are you looking that up now, Jacob?
Oh, I can.
If you look up the types of turkeys or species of turkeys and how to tell them apart. Yeah, see, definitely a Rio, because here's a picture of a Rio.
Yep.
Okay. And then,
Well, here I have. So we'll pop
and
up
here's the
an
picture of the
Eastern.
turkey that I shot.
Yeah.
So as you can see,
Yeah,
Rios.
Rios. They got that white in them,
Yep.
and the Merriams are like, I don't know, like black and white. They're pretty close to a Rio. Rios, I say, are more brown, cream colored, like you said, and the Merriams are white.
Yep. They're white.
There's a Gould's,
Yep. They have even more white in them.
and there's the Oscillated, which are basically peacocks. Those things are creepy.
So here's a Merriam I got one year, and you can see how much whiter that is.
Yep.
But
Merriams are the mountainous regions of the West, but they can be
yep.
found in the west of the Midwest, it says.
Yeah, you got to have some hills for the Merriams. They're out west, but so I shot one Merriam and then I shot two Rios, which is kind of cool for that area.
Yeah. The Eastern turkeys live in 38 states.
Yep.
But yeah. It
So
is
yeah,
crazy, though, how crazy popular turkey hunting's been. I think just in the past, 3 years.
I don't know.
Since COVID.
It just seems to have blown up.
I think everything was COVID. People
Yeah,
got tired of sitting inside, like, what can I hunt now? Oh, turkey season in April? Okay.
right. Yeah, the outdoors definitely seen a spike during COVID because people just didn't want to be inside. But
Yeah.
yeah, this turkey, I was pretty excited about that. Big double beard on it, nice double beard too, not like a little.
Sometimes you'll get them where it's just like 2, 3 strands.
Yeah. This one was pretty legit double beard.
Yeah.
So then I'm also going to, I kept the wing bones. I'm gonna make a wing bone turkey call out of this turkey too, since it was my biggest double beard turkey to date. So,
Well, I've never heard of this. What's a wing bone turkey call?
oh gosh.
I've never
So
heard of this.
you can take the bones out of the wings of a turkey,
Yep.
okay? And it's
Oh, you can make like a little scrape call?
no, it's like a whistle. It looks like a trumpet when you're done.
Oh.
It uses the ulna and the radius and which is this one, Jacob?
I don't know. Rachel's the doctor. I'm the podcast guy.
Shout out, baby girl, Rachel. Ulna and the radius and the femur, that's in your leg. Fibula.
Native Americans. The wing bone
Fibula.
turkey call originated with Native Americans, have been
Yep.
used for hunting turkeys for thousands of years. Crafted from the wing bones of turkeys typical to the humerus, radius, and ulna.
Humerus. There we go.
Humerus, radius, ulna, which are glued together to create a horn-like shape.
Yep. And it makes this super call. It's really neat. So think of this. Everything you need to hunt turkeys is inside the turkey itself. So if you can use the fan to decoy turkeys.
How do you a Parsons wing bone turkey call and he's gonna blow it?
Yep.
This is the way you call turkeys with this turkey caller. You got the hole in the middle of this bone. Lay it right like this. Put your lip down on it.
Yeah, you squeak.
Leave an air hole through to your mouth and go.
Let's hear him. He didn't. It sounds pretty darn close.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. And there's people that kill turkeys with that all the time. So that's so my goal is I'm going to make my own turkey call out of the turkey bones that I killed. Yep. And then I'm going to call in a turkey and kill it with that.
With a recurve.
With a recurve. When I get good enough.
Triple hard.
Yep.
I wonder if you take the spurs and use that for a slate.
I don't know. I don't think so. But no, it's kind of cool because
that's pretty cool. I never heard of that.
Yep. So that's my plan. Make a wing bone turkey call out of that turkey that I got.
It's always the Native Americans making cool shit.
Yep. It's pretty. I don't know how they figured that out, but they were able to do it.
It's usually something with hunting or fishing. It's like, where'd that come from? Native Americans. They figured it out a long time. Oh, they've been doing it for thousands of years.
Yep.
Well, shit. They just are ahead of the times.
So, yeah. So that was really cool. So, great trip out there. So it's, now I got a couple tags left to wrap up out here in eastern South Dakota. You're coming down to do some bow hunting.
Yep.
I have a bow tag. We got some. I got some turkeys lined up. I'll try to make sure I have those patterned and put to bed and everything.
By the time to do all my work for me, so I can come down and shoot.
By the time you get down here, and then we'll call them in and we'll let them have it. But I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Haven't got to hunt yet this year.
Yep. So we're gonna ride turkey season out till it ends at the end of May here.
It'll be a strictly fishing podcast until fall.
And the fish are biting already, so.
Oh my gosh. People are. I don't know what it is. Fishing's been crazy in 2025.
Has been.
It's been a good year for fish.
Yep. Right now, there's a lot of people south of North Dakota shore fishing. Minnesota, they're pan fishing. The lakes up north are getting the ice off of them finally.
I saw in Lake of the Woods this morning, there's one giant ice cube out there, and that's about it.
And really, it's spring of the year. All you need is a jig and a minnow, or pitch a soft plastic or a slip bobber in a minnow. It's a pretty easy time to fish. They're coming off the spawn.
They're hungry.
They are hungry. It's just a good time of year. Really can't beat it.
I'm hoping what I would like to do is like to shoot turkey Saturday morning and then go fish in the afternoon.
Well, we might be able to do that. It might be hard to
accomplish, but
I think we can do it.
Yeah.
The old cast and blast, as we call it.
Cast. Well, that's all it for today, folks.
Yep.
Stay out there. Get out in the outdoors. Fill the freezer. Be good. God bless. And fishing and hunting's better than golf.
Friends don't let friends go golfing when they have a boat. take your friends fishing.